You ask, we answer. This is the episode made by you. Thanks to all our listeners and contributors who have sent us ideas, topics, interesting family statistics, and questions. Today on the Faith and Family Podcast, we tackle the questions you've sent us via Facebook message, Instagram, email, and then we're going to do our best to answer them the faith and family way with the objective to promote and instill Christian values. With me today to help answer your questions is Emma Caro, a mother of three very awesome boys from Montclair, California. Hi, Emric.
Hello.
Hi. So let's just get down to it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So one of my favorite questions out of the bunch: how do you make sure your kids remember to behave even when you're not looking? Is that even something we can measure, Emric?
I know, that's a tough one because you can't really know what's happening when you're not looking.
That's
Uh,
true.
but, we have a lot of discussions about how, God can see everything and
Mm.
how a truly principled person with integrity makes good choices even when nobody's looking. So we have those
Ah.
conversations, um, letting them know that, the content of their character is measured by what you do when no one's watching. So they're aware of those kinds of things. We have those conversations, and then we have a pledge in our family every day
Oh.
before they go to school. Um, I ask them to say the pledge. I figure in the United States we have a to the American flag, and there are all these different pledges. So we made a little family pledge that the boys say every morning, and they say, "I am a member of the Iglesia de Cristo Church of Christ. I'm a good boy. I can make good choices. God loves me. Jesus loves me, and they're always watching." So
Ah.
we have this daily mantra where they say they're always watching, and
That's
so
yeah, it's like that little nudge, that little reminder. Just so you know, God's looking even when I'm not.
yes, exactly,
Yeah.
and I tell them, "There's nothing you can't hide it from me. God's gonna show me." You know?
Yeah,
You
that's
think you
true.
can get away with it, you can't. So, you know, um, hopefully, through those daily reminders and those conversations, they remember to behave. So even now, Russell is a freshman in high school, and I still remind him to say it. He went to Disneyland the other day with some friends, and so I was texting him every hour or so saying, how's it going and all this stuff. And then so I text him and I said, "Hey, did you say the pledge?" So so he records himself saying it and texts it to me.
Ah.
And I thought it was so funny. He's in the middle of, like, the Space Mountain line. He's all, "I'm a member of the Devotion Christ Church of Christ."
You're gonna have to write that down and email it to me. So I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna borrow that. Try it out with my kids. All right,
Yeah,
let's go to question 2. All
okay.
right, so this one's a little long, but it says, my son wants to start extracurricular activities. He wants to join a few after school sports programs, but a lot of them, I guess, conflict with our schedule for church and performing duties. Is there a compromise, or are extracurriculars just not for INC kids? Mm.
I think absolutely there's a compromise. I, find great value in extracurricular activities.
Mm.
And helping a child basically learn skills and find their passion.
Mm-hmm.
I put my kids in a lot of extracurricular activities, especially when they were young, and I think there's a lot of benefits from being in a sport, from playing on a team, working with other people,
Mm-hmm.
experiencing losing,
Right,
because
right.
loss is a part of life. And I think when someone learns how to handle those frustrations at a young age, they're better prepared when they're older and those things happen as an adult. Can you imagine if, like, the first time they ever lost or the first time they ever experienced failure was when they were an adult,
Mm. They're
I
gonna
think
be ill-equipped. Yeah.
yeah. However, yes, absolutely there are conflicts when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to performing church duties and attending worship service.
How
And
did you guys overcome that? I mean, if they
well,
were in everything, then there had to be some compromise, right?
yeah, well, absolutely. It was communicated and it
Mhm.
was enforced that above all things, our duties in the church, our duties to God,
Right.
is a priority.
Right.
So if there are ever conflicts, the choices we are going to make are to perform our duty, and
Mhm.
we talk about that, and we say that although it's great that you're playing this sport, that sport's not going to take you to heaven. You know,
That's true, yeah.
although it's great that you are that you have this, opportunity and all that stuff, those opportunities are not going to take you to heaven. So we need to focus on our relationship with God
Mhm.
above and beyond anything else we do on earth.
Noted, noted. Okay, I hope number 2, whoever asked the question, I hope that answers it well for you. Okay, let's go to number 3. Yeah, totally. Extracurricular, we are for you. All right, so number 3. Number
Okay.
3 question, how do you connect with each child, especially since they're so different? How do you connect with each child when especially they're so different? Or something like that. How do
Yeah.
you connect with each child that's different? I don't know. You get it.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And all three of my children are
Mhm.
very different. And my little one's watching me right now, and he's like, "What's my
Mm.
mom gonna say?" So, yes, they're all three very different. They don't come all the same, even though they have the same genetic pool and they're
Mhm.
all boys. Their personalities are very different. So, how do I connect with each child? Well, understanding their strengths and their weaknesses, what makes them tick,
Mhm.
what they're passionate about. So I think first and foremost, it's very important to listen, and to pay attention when
Right.
they talk and when
Yeah.
they tell you stories. And I know, because sometimes I'm guilty of this. They just talk and talk and talk, and and you're busy too, and you're
And you're like,
and
"Uh-huh, uh-huh."
uh-huh, yeah, exactly. Mhm, mhm, mhm. And
Yeah.
then it can go by and you didn't hear a thing, and
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then and I feel kind of guilty about that. So I've made it a point, I've kind of made this like this promise to myself that I'm gonna listen, So when they tell
Yeah.
stories, I try to stop what I'm doing and like
Mhm.
focus in, so that I can kind of know their hearts, what's
Yeah.
what are their passions, what are, the things that make them sad, the things that make them happy, and
Mhm.
I learn about who their friends are and what they're doing at school. So I try to, I make it a point to listen intently. And there are times where like 2 minutes of their conversation went by, and I was guilty of not listening, and
Yeah.
so I'll stop myself, like, I'll be conscious of it, and I'll stop myself, and I'll say, "Wait, wait, wait, what did you say again? What
Mhm.
that part again?" And they're like, "Mom," I'm like, I just didn't hear because something was loud." And then they'll, and so I'll make sure that I hear their message. And then I think it's really important to give them your best. Like,
Yeah.
I think the most important thing, and we as parents, especially us helicopter moms, we're pushing and pushing them to like, get good grades and all that stuff. But I do believe in the end, it is all about relationships, and the best way you're going to influence their lives and make an impact, um, is by letting them feel that your unconditional love, that
Mm.
no matter what, and I've told them this, even in when I've gotten upset with them, I'm like, "There is nothing you can do that would make me not love you."
Aw.
And then they say, "Nothing?" I'm like, "Nothing."
And then
"Well,
they
what if I
test
do?"
you?
Yeah, they do. They say, "Well, what if I do this?" I'm like, "Nope, I would still love you." "And what if I would still love you." And then I say, "Now, I would, be disappointed. I would,
Yeah.
I would try to help you and all that stuff, but there's nothing you can do that would ever make me not love you, or stop loving you." And so I think it's really important that they
Mhm.
feel that and they know that. And I think, if they're secure in that,
Mhm.
um, it's easier to connect with them, and it's easier to uh, influence them, and give them advice and different things like that. So,
Yeah.
um, just, I guess that's how I connect with my kids. I I'm strict, but I'm fun. I try
Huh.
to be that fun. I try to really let them know that I hear them, like,
Mhm. Yeah.
whatever makes them happy, like, I understand, what their passions are and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and so
Yeah. Yeah, my husband and I, we do our best to also to like you said, understand their passions. But to be honest with you, right now I'm actually struggling a little bit connecting with my daughter because she's 9 and well, she's a girl. So
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
she's getting to that point where like
You're
things
getting to
are.
the danger zone.
Yes, I am. No, to be honest with you, I really am. And like the thing is I'm trying to keep an open dialogue with her. And
Yeah.
sometimes I like I'll ask her up front, I'm like, "Do you understand what you're feeling?" You know? Because
Uh-huh,
sometimes she'll go from like 0 to 100
uh-huh.
like it's no other, you know?
Yeah,
And I'll be like, You know, you're having really strong feelings right now, aren't you?" And she'll be like, "Yeah," you know, and she'll be like, "Oh my gosh, where's this coming from?" And
uh-huh.
I think it's just like she's at that point now where she's changing, you know?
Yeah,
And
uh-huh.
it's like it's hard because I can kind of feel her not necessarily withdrawing, you know, because we'll still talk and
Yeah.
stuff, but she's getting a lot more quiet,
I
you
think
know?
that just, because my son is now 15 and
Mhm.
he totally went through that phase, like,
Yeah.
starting in middle school, like, when he got to the 6th grade, it was
Mhm.
like, "What is going on with you?" And I think all children go through that phase, that
Yeah.
because their bodies are changing, there's, like,
Yeah.
hormone and I think, like, now in retrospect, I'm looking back on it, I think we just have to know that that's coming and
Yeah.
respect it. You
Yeah.
know, and that doesn't mean that we back off,
Mhm.
we're still very involved, we ask them the questions, but our approach may be a little bit
Mhm.
different,
Yeah.
instead of trying to get all in their face and in their business, just, kinda watch
Right.
and from a distance, and I had to, like, hold my tongue sometimes and just
Mhm.
listen,
Yeah.
even when they're on their rant, just
Yeah.
kinda listen, even when they get quiet and, like, just I would still, like, be there,
Mhm.
but just kind of watching,
Yeah.
'cause, they do, and then I can't he's only 15, I can't say he's out of that phase, but definitely it has improved,
Yeah.
to where he used to, like, hide in his room. Before
Aw.
he was never in his room,
Yeah.
before this whole teenage craziness began. He
Mhm.
was always, in the mix with the whole family all the time, and then there was that quiet phase, and then always wanting to be alone, always in his room, and I was like, "This is really weird," and,
Yeah.
so, and I just decided to just start watching from a distance, and I
Mhm.
got some advice from other parents letting me know that, they'll come around,
Yeah.
but this is just gonna happen, and you just have to respect that. And
Yeah.
so, like, I did, and now I think we're closer, and
Mhm.
he can open up a little bit more, and we have fun conversations where he can, talk to me about his friends at school and what he's feeling and different
Yeah.
things like that. So
Okay, I'll
I
back
don't
off. Now, you know what though? You're right though. Like watching them from a distance, like I said, because she's getting quiet and like I was like, well, I still want to spend time with her, you know,
know. Mhm.
even though she's trying to do her own thing. So like,
Yeah.
even today it was kind of odd, but I was like, whatever, we're gonna do it.
Uh-huh.
She was like, she's getting into like just fixing hair and stuff. She'll just sit
Yeah.
there and like do hairstyles on her dolls or whatever
Uh-huh.
quietly. And I'm like, hey, why don't you do my hair? And she was like, okay. You know, but I was like, I don't care. We're gonna spend time with each other, you
Yeah.
know. And we
Yeah.
didn't talk or anything, but I was feeling like at least we're doing something together, and it's
Yeah.
something that she likes, and she knows
Yeah.
that I want to be a part of it. You know.
Mhm.
Hopefully, she
I
felt that way.
Yeah, I think so. I think they do, but they just don't wanna admit it. And so
Ah,
they're just kind of so you just have to keep at it, and eventually they'll reach stability and balance in their hormone levels again. You just
we'll keep you posted on this one. We'll have a part two when
Yeah.
she's about 13. All right, all right. Let's go to question 4. This is a
Okay.
really interesting one. So you have three boys. So I
Yes.
want to hear what you're gonna say. All right. So the question was, what are you teaching your kids about the opposite sex?
Every once in a while, we talk about girls and
Mm-hmm.
things like that, and just playfully, nothing serious. They've said that mommy's the only girl for me.
Oh, yeah,
The
what is
two
up
little
with
ones.
boys like that, right? Like even my little boy, the same thing. I'm gonna marry you.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not how this works.
I know.
No,
But, they always say,
they're so
Mom's
sweet.
my girl." Yeah, and, but one thing that I do, talk to them about is that, even with my young ones,
Mm-hmm.
I say when the time comes and it's time to pick a girl, and I always reference the Bible, and I
Mm-hmm.
tell them in the Bible, it says that a girl, your partner, whoever you pick, she can either be a treasure, your best treasure that you've found on earth,
Mm-hmm.
or she can be your greatest curse.
Oh dear. Wow.
And well, it's
Yeah.
biblical. It's in there. So she's either a treasure or she's a curse. And I say
Yeah.
you have to be careful. And you can't be tricked by a pretty face. You
Mm.
can't be tricked by someone who's wealthy, someone who's fun, and all that stuff. So I kind of even now set a few standards, even though they're really young. And the biggest rule we have is she has to love God more than you you
Ah,
know,
yeah.
and so, we've had those conversations. If she loves God more than you, then she's someone to consider, she's
Mm-hmm.
probably going to be a blessing in your life.
Right. Perfect. I love that. Okay, you know what? We're going to leave our listeners with that thought. It's perfect. Use the words of God as a guide, right?
Mhm.
Any question that comes up. And then, of course, unconditional love. I
Yeah,
love it. That's our superpower. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. This was a lot of fun.
I did enjoy it.
Yes.
I
Emmerich,
like talking
thanks.
about my kids. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we have to have you on more often then.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, thanks so much for helping me answer these questions, for hanging out. We're keep on everyone else that is listening. Keep on sending us those questions through Facebook message, Instagram DMs, Twitter, or even email us at info@incmedia.org, and we'll try to get to them and answer them right here on the Faith and Family podcast.